Becky Schultz with Equipment Today magazine and for ConstructionPros.com. I'm here with Dennis Slater, president of the Association of Equipment Manufacturers at AEM headquarters in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Dennis, I understand that the AEM has gotten involved in a new competition. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. First of all, Becky, thanks for being here. This is really exciting news for us. What we've been trying to do is thought leadership in the industry. We have Infrastructure Vision 2050, and what that means is we feel that the country really has no policy for infrastructure for the future, and if you don't have a policy on where you want to get to an objective, then how do you get there? So our thought is to create a competition and an awareness on where we should go in the future. So what we invented here really and really have launched is called Infrastructure Vision 2050 competition. We're working with HeroEX. And we're going out there with a competition, first of all, to identify the need we have out there, and then look for solutions. Kind of change the game from the year-to-year fixing of infrastructure to a better plan.
Can you give us a little bit of background about how the competition came about?
Yeah, I think the AEM board really, in their wisdom, looked at it and said, we keep on having these trouble getting the highway bill passed. We're not looking for long-term solutions. And if you can't do that, what happens is your infrastructure starts to crumble. So you're basically repairing it right now and not improving it. And our argument has always been is the economic strength of the country is behind how strong the infrastructure is. So that's where the competition started to go, because we wanted to look at a long-term solution. And you can't do that really without really doing some research on that. So we're working with Northwestern University and Cornell University, and they're helping to identify the current state. But now going forward, we look at things and say, well, how do you find the future state? And I think the best way to do that really is not to just do it ourselves. We're talking among ourselves all the time. Open it up, do some crowdsourcing. So the competition with HeroEX gets beyond the traditional person to the public, to anybody who's thinking about this and saying, what are those solutions out there?
Can you explain a little bit about HeroEX? What is that, and what is the benefit to the participants?
Yeah, I think the whole concept of HeroEX is they move beyond just a single industry or just a closed source of how to do something. So you don't just sit down at a table and carve something out. Instead, they go out there to the public, really, or anybody interested in anything. It could be anything from, putting a rocket to Mars. It could be, or to just making a new product. And they go out there and they expand the horizon of who might be interested in doing this. So what you do there is you increase the base of interested parties in doing something.
All right. And can you go into how the Infrastructure Vision Challenge is set up? I understand it's supposed to go in 3 phases?
Yeah, it works in 3 phases, and the first one just was launched, and it's running through March. And this is that complain stage. So it's getting out there and identifying what is the problem today. What problem are we going to address? So the first part gets people involved in the whole idea, but then they go out there and say, here's the problems I have with it. After that, then phase 2 is called that dream phase. Now, what are some ideas out there to really change this game, to make infrastructure better? And then finally, get to that final part, and it's the build phase. How do you make those dreams happen?
All right, and here's the big question. What is the potential payoff for someone entering the competition? And also, what is the long-term benefits for the construction industry and the American public?
Yeah, well, the payoff, there's $150,000 involved in these 3 phases, with most of the money being at the back end of it. But I think what happens is, if there's a solution out there that really works, the payoff is much bigger than that. They did one of these for, having a rocket that can go to outer space privately. And, the competition was $1 million, I believe. And yet when they did that, the cost of doing that was many, many millions. But I think the companies that got involved in that recognize the potential for the future. So if you're coming up with solutions here, especially in the build phase, it means much more than the prize. I think what it means is people will adopt that idea and put it into action.
Excellent. Well, I guess the big question then is, how can people get involved in the competition?
Well, first of all, they can just go right to the AEM website and go on there, or the HeroEX website right away, and go to either one of those sites and look on the competition and sign up. Now, HeroEX is also out there reaching out right now, and AEM is putting a marketing campaign out there at the same time. So there are a lot of sources to do that, but AEM.org is the place to go right now.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Dennis, for giving us some information about the competition, and we look forward to covering it more as it develops.
Well, it's exciting times, and I think it's a good way also for our industry to step forward and be a thought leader.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.